Hey, Michael, it's Coach Benlin here, just breaking down some of your swings from the last few sessions. I put all of my notes into a document that I can send over to you after. Some of the stuff gets a little wordy with some of the language. I want to make sure that you can see it. So when we go into the next sessions, we can communicate back and forth about it. So I'll walk through the document. I'll show some of the loops of your swings, give you some adjustments and a drill, and I'll compare you to a guy I think that has some similarities to your swing, who's an MLB guy. Um, but let's get into it. Overall, I think you made some major improvements, specifically with your load. We've been working on a hand path, and we've been talking about your head movement as well. Watching the different videos over the weeks, I can tell that you're making major improvements, and you're taking it pretty seriously. I know, and I'm glad to see results because I'll break down one of your swings from the last session that I think is there's huge improvements from where we were a couple months ago. Um, some concerns I have, we talked about the quickness with the hands and the bat speed. I've been trying to get you to choke up, take more control of the barrel. I think you're against that, but we'll talk about that. And I want to let you know that the strength will come. You don't have to worry about that now. I know we talked about it in the last session, but that's part of the process and it'll come. Right now, we're worried about developing good habits, um, consistency through our routine, and just trusting the process, and it'll happen over time. Let's go through a couple of the video clips here, and then I'll go over a couple things I want to take a closer look at. So I've been breaking down a few of these swings from the last few sessions, and definitely some things that you're improving on. And I'll show you in a breakdown of what I'm talking about. But you got a wide stance. I think it gives a little bit of power to you. We're doing a better job of getting into our backside and our load, and using what we build to kind of add some quickness to our swing, and build some of that power in our load, while maintaining our timing. So let me pull up one of the swings that I'll start with a session here from the last group of swings that I really, really liked. Let me go full screen here and break it down. Okay, so from our Monday session, I thought the first few swings here were some of the best swings I've seen you take. And we've been working on specifically in the load, um, where we're trying to build our power and our energy, how our hands should react to our hips, and then how to extend to the baseball. And I think at the end of this session here, on some of these clips here, you kind of put it all together. So let's take a look right here, and then we'll break it down. I know you're a little tired at this point. This is probably 100, 200 swings in, but some really good stuff here. And if I go back to the beginning here and kind of just go step by step here. So let's see where we start. Okay. Bring your hands back in our load. I like where they are there. I think they can go back further. We've talked about that. I think that you're doing a better job of where you want to locate that power in your load. So as this front foot comes up, and you're about to get your separation right there, let me just draw on the screen and show you some of the areas where we're trying to focus in on. So we're trying to lock on the inside of this back foot here, the inside of this knee, and then into this back hip here, right? At the same time, we want to make sure we do a good job of getting our hands back and back to here while guiding this front foot down out to here. That separation between the front side and the back side here. But focusing on these three areas in the load, we're doing a lot better job. I know we did some of the jump back drill stuff that I'll talk about in a second, but we talked about keeping that knee inside of that back foot here. You're doing a lot better job there. Sinking down this waist level, building that energy and that torque as you track the ball in. Okay, you're doing a lot better job of that, and you're seeing some line drives, some balls jumping off the bat as a result. The things I'm concerned about that we got to keep an eye on are these hands sometimes dropping down. We do not want to do that. And sometimes you bring these hands back to here at the starting point, and they drift kind of forward this way as you track the ball. We want to keep these hands back. Let me clear this writing here and take a couple more looks. So the hands get back there. As you track, we're going to make sure they don't come forward. They do a decent job here. I think you can get them back a little bit more. Okay, front foot comes down, hips are about to go. Low pitch here, you go down and get it without dropping your hands too much. Head all over contact. You got a 90 degree in the back leg there. Looks pretty good. Line drive right back where it came from. How's the finish and the follow through? Extending through the ball. Finish and follow through is pretty nice. I think this is one of your better swings. This is what we want to aim for the most part. On time, front foot down, hips, hands, right through the ball. Now, a couple things that you're going to see in the other video loops are sometimes when this front foot is on the way to landing, before that heel and the whole foot gets down, you'll start your hands. And you'll see that sometimes you look at me like, why is the ball going straight down to the ground? You're a little late, and you're also trying to swing before that front foot gets down. And I put that in my notes as well. Here, you're doing a good job. Front foot down, hips, hands, through the ball. Another piece that I'm going to talk about as well is here's the point of contact. Let me draw again. Here's the point of contact here. We want to make sure when we're saying the term get through 3 baseballs, that you're continuing that swing to get through extension before you finish, up and out with the swing here. Get through 3 baseballs, extend through the ball, get through the baseball before you finish your swing. But it's a really nice swing. And let me show it one more time in full speed here. Really great stuff. I know you worked really hard this session, so it's good to see that you got some really good swings at the end here. Yep, not bad, not bad. Okay, continuing on. Let me just minimize this one. Okay, going back to the document. So some of the points of emphasis that I've been kind of looking at, I want to translate to you is this front foot has to get down before we swing. You did a great job in that video. I'll show you another video where you're kind of inconsistent. The front foot's going to get down, plant itself down on the ground. Then the hips are going to go and the hips are going to pull the hands. That's kind of our chain of command there. Front foot down, hips and hands. Being on time, which we preach a lot, is getting that front foot down, throwing the hips. Okay? Timing up the pitcher when you're in the on-deck circle, picking up the front side, getting it down, getting ready with the hip. That's what we talk about being on time. And you cannot be late. Cannot be late. I'd rather you be early than be late. Looking at this video clip, I believe it was. This is what I'm talking about when that front foot is not getting down and you're trying to swing at the same time. This is from, I think, 2 sessions ago. The swing and the front foot are kind of synchronous right now. I want one then the other. Front foot down, then hands. Especially when you start seeing velocity. Got to plant that front foot down, then go with the hips. Okay, I'd rather you be early than late. Cannot be late. We talked about in the beginning before, where should we feel our load, right? Where should it be? And I'll pull up the shot of you again here, but we're talking about the lower half in the load. We want to stay inside of that back foot, back knee, building in the back hip. And I talked about it with you when we were doing the jump back drill. You'll feel that pressure, that build in your quad on your rear leg and in that glute in the back. And that's where you're going to build, right? And then we're going to use that to launch forward, and that's going to pull our hands through, and that's where that bat speed will come through, that hand speed. Keeping the back knee inside the back foot. We put the baseball down below our knee in our load. We were doing that drill. And just to be conscious of keeping that knee, that back knee inside that back foot. And we'll go back. I'll show you a video of the jump back drill again that you can do on your own. We'll continue to do that in our sessions going forward. Also, I mentioned keeping the hands back, right? While the front foot comes down, keeping them back, getting that separation as the front side lands, avoiding drift, coming forward as you track the ball in, and avoiding drop with your hands. We're going to keep them back ready to launch. Front foot comes down, hip's going to pull those hands. Hands are last to go. And then we talked about the extension piece here, getting extended from the point of contact to the finish, right? Getting through the 3 baseballs when I drew those 3 lines in front of the point of contact here. Allowing the hands to finish their path, right? Not putting them in the pocket, kind of being short with them. Let them finish through the baseball, get extended, both arms, and that power V all the way to your back. Try not to decelerate at the point of contact. Continue the hands all the way through until they're done. And the last thing that I want to mention on the document is we want to make sure we're not being pull happy. We're using the whole field. We talk about our approach all the time in our sessions, right? Hitting the ball where it's pitched, using the whole field, breaking the plate into thirds, right? Inner third, recognizing it early, pulling the knob, dropping the barrel, catching it out in front. Middle pitches, letting the ball travel, hitting it back where it came from. And then outer third pitches, seeing the ball get a little bit deeper, using the whole field, hitting that right center gap, going oppo. We want to be able to hit all pitches to all fields and make sure we have productive at-bats. There's plenty of RBIs to be had for runners on third base, and some guys can't hit the ball to the right side of the infield and get the RBI. We're going to make sure that you're one of the guys that is very successful and can do that when it's needed. Here's a guy that I wanted to look at that kind of reminded me of you a little bit, Trevor Story. Let me show you his swing in slow motion here. He kind of has a similar load where he's kind of hovering with that front side up, building in the back. He's a little more outstretched and wide, like you get right there, right? Which he's kind of using to his advantage to generate power. But what I do want to take a look at, 2 things that he does really, really well. Let me play that back 1 second. Is look at his hands, how far back they stay when his front foot's coming down. See how back they are? They're not drifting forward, right? And then watch this extension piece. Look how far out through the baseball, back of a baseball card kind of finish, all the way to his back, right? I have one with the strobe motion I could show you to track that bat path. Let me pull that up right now. Here he is. Through the baseball, extended all the way to the back, keeping the hands back while the front side comes down. And watch his path here. There's point of contact right there, getting through 1, 2, 3 baseballs, all the way out in front, finishing to the back. Play it one more time. Keeping those hands back in that launch position. Front foot comes down, front foot, hips, hands are coming. Contact, through contact, all the way to the back. It's pretty good stuff there. And the drill series that we're focusing on is that jump back drill to help you build in the right places. Here's Melky Cabrera doing them. We'll continue to do these in our sessions to make sure we're loading in the right places and using what we load, using where we load. So you can do that as well at home, work on that balance point, keeping that knee inside that back foot, and letting those hips pull the hands through the baseball. Just to wrap it up here, I'll show you a couple more clips on the way out. Front foot down early, staying separated with our hands back, loading in the right places, keeping our hands back, not drifting or dropping our hands, and extending through the baseball. Big up and out finish, like the back of a baseball card. And then continuing to work on that approach, using the whole field, hitting the ball where it's pitched, breaking the plate into thirds, and recognizing where the pitch is. So here is that good clip from last session. I'll pull up. There we go. Let's take a couple more look at these swings. It's pretty good stuff here, though. It's a good one right here. Yep. Right back where it came from. Middle, letting it travel. You're working really hard, and it's really paying off. So great job, buddy. I'll send this document over to you. If you have any questions at all for me, I'll throw up my information right here. You can email me with any questions. I'll get back to you right away. I also put my Twitter account up there. It has links to some of the videos I used. And we'll continue to work on this, and we'll talk about this in the next session. Any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Great job, buddy.